Here we are today live, Wilmington, Delaware's Little Italy, Luigi Vitrone's Pastabilities restaurant, where we're going to make some homemade meat lasagna. My grandmom's recipe, we're going to make it my way.
You came along and everything started into hum.
We happen to make our own pasta here at the restaurant. This is an egg pasta, as you can see. It's primarily made with eggs, flour, and olive oil. You can see the thickness of it. It's nice and tender. We're going to put the pasta into the boiling water, and then we're going to shock it real briefly. Basically, when the water comes back to the boil, your pasta is done. It's a whole lot better than the commercial pasta that outlasts most marriages that I know. Comes out of the boiling water and into some ice cold water with some ice cubes in it to stop the cooking process. We carefully lift it out. We can see how tender it is. And we just lay it on the prep table and allow the excess water to come out for the next step. Brush the olive oil all around. Be a little generous with that. At this point, we carefully take our tender homemade pasta and we layer it into the pan. Notice I put the first one in on the bottom, and right after that, you have to think about the sides of the pan. And notice how it hangs over. We're going to take some ricotta cheese now. We're going to season it with some salt, a little pepper, pecorino romano cheese, fresh basil, and fresh flat Italian parsley. All right, so we have the ricotta cheese now, all fully seasoned. We're going to liberally and evenly spread it. At this point, we have our homemade Italian sausage and our homemade meatballs that were cooked in a ragu sauce, which we're going to also use. And then at this point, we're going to generously and liberally add the meat to the lasagna. Now we have our ragu sauce, which all the meat was cooked in. So you have such a concentration of flavors: freshly shredded Parmesan cheese, and that'll complete the filling process for the lasagna. We're going to put a final layer of our homemade pasta on the lasagna. And at this point, you'll see that we're able to fold the lasagna almost like putting a sweater on a poodle. Grandma always says, make a nice lasagna, Luigi. The girls are going to follow. Okay, at this point, I want to put a little bit more extra virgin olive oil on the dough. Brush it around. And this is the mistake that everybody makes. Lasagna not only has to bake, it has to steam in the oven. So we take a real wet, hopefully a clean towel, and we put it on top of our lasagna, and we kind of tuck it in a little bit, make it nice and tight. At this point, we get some aluminum foil, and we cover the lasagna with the shiny side in. The shiny side reflects 50% of the heat. When we put it in the oven, be sure we have a pan of boiling water in the oven also to provide some more moisture. Almost like baking bread. 350 degrees for 90 minutes. All right, we took our lasagna out of the oven. It's nice and hot. I took the towel off and the aluminum foil that I showed you earlier. I'm going to take a little small sheet pan that's perhaps a little bit bigger than the lasagna pan, and we're going to carefully turn the lasagna over. Just slightly tap it with a knife or a heavy fork. You'll see the lasagna just pops right out, nice and smooth. At this point, we're going to make a nice little cut over here, and you're going to be very pleasantly surprised to see the cross section of our beautiful lasagna. Grandma's recipe, done my way.